Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I have a massive layout share for you. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you 100 pages. Yes, you heard me right, 100 pages. So I looked back and I have not posted anything on YouTube since August of 2025. It is now February 2026. So while we go through what I have completed in that time, I am going to share a little bit about where I was and why things changed up for me a little bit and where I hope to go from here. So let's get started. The 100 pages do not actually include the ones in front of you right now. These are from the Vicky Booten Curiosities in Willow Grove bonus class, which I was working on before this. So I thought I would just put them out because they're pretty, because my stack of layouts is so tall that you wouldn't be able to see any of them if I stacked them under here. So I just have them on a table beside me and I'm going to bring them in one at a time. I just wanted you to see something pretty when you turned on the camera, or turned on the video, sorry. Grab a cup of something because I don't know how long we're going to be here. 100 pages is a lot. I also did 3 6x8 books. But they're like this, they're not completed, so I don't really count them as finished, but I might flip through a couple of those as well while we chat. And I did 2 other books, but I gave them away at Christmas time, so 2 other mini books, but they went to some family. Okay, so I'm gonna scoop these beauties up. Aren't they pretty? I haven't put anything on them yet, but here's the thing is I was gonna put pictures on these and I looked up at my stack of layouts and was like, oh my goodness, where am I gonna even put these once there's photos on them, because that stack of layouts is going to fall right off that shelf and then I'm going to have a giant mess. So I thought, well, you know what? I have 2 choices. I could choose to not share them with my friends at all and just put them away and start from scratch, or I could do a little chat. And I thought, well, you know what? Whoever wants to sit and listen can listen, and whoever doesn't want to, that's okay too. I'm cool with it. So let's go back to August when I was actually still posting content. The first thing that I want to share about August is that I was a guest designer for the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, and that is a blog. They also have a Facebook group, and so this video is on my channel along with the kit share. So I did put together a kit based on the inspiration kit that they had, and this is one of the layouts that I created. Now that kit is still together and I can see it from where I'm sitting, but since this and the next layout I'm going to show you were completed, I haven't done anything with it, but I would like to. So let's not count it out yet, okay? So this is the layout prompt that I got as the guest designer was friends, and so I did this layout of my grandchildren and their little buddy, and they spent a lot of time with this little guy that summer, and so I thought that I would just keep plugging through some of my layouts, and thought that this was a really cute one for the farm theme that we had, because they were like petting animals and riding in the trailer behind the tractor and all the things. So that was super fun. And so with that kit too, I did I think this was my first layout, but I can't actually remember. I'd have to go back and look for the clue challenge on Ginger's Corner. So in August, I also played along with Ginger's Corner on a clue game layout challenge. So we rolled some dice, we did some things. Those are all up on my channel as well. So I used that kit, and I did this layout, and the kit just went really well because this photo was of Thanksgiving. My goal with this challenge was to work my way through some photos that have kind of been waiting for me and need to get done. That year 2021, I know I've talked about this before, but it was such a big year for our family that I have so many photos that I want scrapbooked, and I just need to do them. So that's just it. So this is going to go in Emmy's first year album. This was her first Thanksgiving. I didn't get a lot of pictures from that one. It was at her They were still living in Ontario, and this was at her great-grandparents' house, and somebody snapped a picture of the two little cutie pies sitting on the chair together. So that's the one that I did for her album. So fun. And again, that was like the clue challenge. I also used this sketch from Creative Scrapbooker magazine. So very sad to hear that our two Canadian magazines are both closing their doors. So we'll have no more print magazines here in Canada. So that's too bad. But I understand why. The cost of print is quite expensive and people aren't engaging in it as much as they used to. But I do like that physical flipping through the magazines and catalogs and that sort of thing, as I'm sure many of you do. We're all paper fans here, right? So along with that, what are we calling it? Clue layout challenge over on Ginger's Corner. Oh, that's not. We did more layouts using the clue where we were rolling the dice and it was telling us what we were going to put on our layouts. And it was a lot of fun. I found it challenging for sure to get a layout together based on what this thing was telling me. But I also kept working through something that we had done in July with Ginger's Corner also. It was another scrapbook hop called Speedy Scrapbooking. And so the sketches from that, I didn't use them all during July. So I did, I think, 13 layouts or something like that, maybe 15, but there was like 33 sketches. So I had lots of the sketches left over and I had already matched them with photos. So to do the clue challenges, I was like, well, this might speed up my process a little bit because I already have the photos, the sketch. I just have to now incorporate those clues. And I managed to do it, I think, for much of that month. So this one was a double pager and I did use it as a double page. Some of them I only used one side or the other or combined them somehow, but this one I did. I wanted to do, again, this was 2021. My youngest graduated the same year my oldest got married and had a baby. So it was a busy year, right? So this is for Aiden's graduation album, and I really found this one interesting because I don't use triangles enough. I love the look of them, but I never think about it. I always think rectangles because my paper trimmer cuts easy rectangles. It does not cut easy triangles. So, but anyway, it was a good one. So I liked that. So yes, this was Clue Layout Challenge. Again, these ones are, I think, on my channel from August. And this was another one from August. See, here's where I rolled my dice. Kernel mustard, yellow embellishment, that used the candlestick, so it was a summer page, and we were in the billiard room, so we had to find a wooden embellishment. It was kind of fun, right? And again, I kept using those photos and products that I had matched together for the Speedy Scrapbook Challenge that I never got to. So it just kind of sped up my process and did all the things for me, did some of the work. So something that I want to talk about in that is that I was really starting to notice my decision fatigue. So back in June of 2025, I was promoted to a program coordinator position, which is lovely. And I do enjoy my job. However, up until that point, so I've been working for almost 30 years now, and I've always been somebody's assistant, literally the whole time. For 20 plus years, I was a teaching assistant. The teacher was always in charge. I never had to make a ton of decisions. That was just the way it was. So then when I took the job as a social worker, I was a program assistant. I love having other people make my decisions for me. So being the coordinator, I'm all of a sudden in charge of making decisions. I have a staff of 9 people. I have quite a large caseload. So I found that when I was making these choices to go back and keep using those sketches, I was starting to notice that it was because I had decision fatigue and I was having a hard time picking photos and products. So having something that already I could start with was super helpful for me. Okay, so that's the start of my story of where I disappeared to, the decision fatigue. Keep that in mind. So anyways, these layouts all turned out so much fun. And like I said, they are on my channel, so you can go back and watch them. This is the next one. It was another clue challenge. And think this one's also had a sketch, but I don't see it here. Here's my first used it up. So I finished using up this pack of enamel dots. It was Simple Stories Retro Summer. So we'll put that in a little pile. Actually, that's not true. I grabbed these and then didn't talk about them. So this one, another enamel dots from Your Next Stamp. I wonder what this one was from. I'm not sure. Probably something, I would guess, wooden, because that's how I usually put them in a kit, is in those little bags. This one, I love this. I don't know if my friend Ruth is out there watching, but Ruth is one of our Canadian girls that is on our embellishment swap group from Canada. And she went on my Facebook page, found pictures of my family and family pets, and made me these beautiful cut file masterpieces, I'm going to call them, that actually look like our family pets. So this is my Nova. She belongs to my grandchildren, and I adore this. I think this is the greatest thing ever. So here, this was for Emmy's first year album. Again, that 2020, actually this was 2022. She turned 1 shortly after this. So this is still part of her first year, but it was all about her love of her puppy. So there we go. Oh, no, I was going to keep these out. Okay. And here's another one, that Clue challenge where we rolled the dice, Miss Peacock with the wrench in the hall. Made all the decisions that way, and this was my layout. Now, when I went looking for that dog embellishment, I found another dog that I love, and he had to be part of my next one. That's why I don't think this one has a sketch, because I was just inspired to use my Scooby-Doo, which was also from an embellishment swap, and it turned out so much fun. I loved it. So it was also that same pet one. So again, there's the YouTube video for that. So super cute. And then this one was also a Clue layout. Here we got Mr. Green with the wrench in the ballroom, and did it that way. So that turned out super fun. And I used some zoo type embellishments and papers and such to do a layout about the Rainforest Cafe. That was the other thing, is this is our first family trip where everybody got to go, with all the 3 daughters-in-law and the grandchildren, all 10 of us in the same place at the same time on a trip. We went to Niagara Falls, Canada. And so this is part of that album. So it's another album for 2021. What the heck, right? I'll get there. It's okay. There's no such thing as behind, but you know, there are some things that are important to me to have in those books. So here is another one. This looks like some bling, hunky dory shimmer diamond sparkles. I used up the rest of that. And this one was Mrs. White with the revolver in the billiard room. And I did a layout about leprechauns. And I don't think this one was from, I don't know why. Why did I need this one? I don't know. Maybe I was just inspired to do a layout about a leprechaun. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's that. Then this one was the Mrs. Peacock with the rope in the billiard room. And we got this really fun sketch from that Speedy Scrapbooking hop. So again, there's a video for this one, but oh my gosh, this turned out so cute. It's so hard to decide when you do a photo shoot. And I know it's like all repeated the same thing, but she was so stinking cute. How could I pick and choose which photos not to put in here, right? So anyway, it was hard. And I put 8 photos in there, but you know, it was still hard to pick, but super cute. So fun. That goes in her baby album as well. This one, I finished up a pack of Doodlebug Sprinkles festive assortment. So I think these ones were stars, looks like. So there we go. And we have, this is the sketch from the Speedy Scrapbooking hop that I already had matched with some photos. So that's why it made it so simple to get in there and get her done. I think we are actually into something different. So this was not a clue layout. I don't think there is actually a video for this. So the next thing that happened was my grandchildren have moved out west where we live. And so on the 23rd of August, I went and picked them up from the airport, and their mom brought them to us. And then she flew back because they needed to drive their belongings and their dog out from Ontario to move here. So I had the kids for a week just by myself. And I thought I would be like super grandma. And I also had my niece's daughter that week because they had also just moved here from Saskatchewan. Maybe not my finest decision making, but we had a ton of fun. And yeah, so anyway, I knew that the end of August was a wash, that I wouldn't be scrapbooking. So whatever you see posted after that was recorded before the kids arrived on the 23rd of August, okay? So the 23rd of August rolls around. I know my scrapbooking is done for the time being. The kids couldn't move into their house right away. They stayed with us for a while. It all was fine. It's all good stuff. Everything was good, but scrapbooking was on the back burner. It was not happening. So then when would this have been? I would say probably September. I went to a scrapbooking retreat that my mom and I had been planning to go to for ages. And when I went to pack for the retreat, scrapbooking had not been on my mind since mid-August, when, like I said, all of my things were finished recording and whatnot. And I was like, what on earth am I supposed to bring? So I still had some of these paired up with photos, embellishments, things that I wanted to use together to keep working on my 2021 stuff. So I took those with me, okay? Yeah, so I kept working on those. So that's what this is. This is one of the ones that I took to the retreat. So that was super cute. And this also is for her first year album. So this is another one of those speedy scrapbooking ones that I took to the retreat. And there it is. And it was so sweet. There you go. I loved this idea. I think this would be really fun with branding strips too, but I used, they make those papers that have like the border strips, like a whole bunch of different border strips on one sheet of paper. That's what this was. So I cut it down, kind of put them in a semi-rainbow order, and it just turned out so super cute. And it was a Crayola paper line from like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s. It's very old, but I thought it was really cute with this. So it was back when they had those like chipboard things that you stacked up and then you put a brad in there. So those are actual real life, sorry, I didn't mean to knock the camera. Real life brads in there. Look at that. Look at me using up my stash, hey? So then here's another one of those that I took with us to the retreat. And this one was fun too. And instead of making triangles this time, I just used a triangle paper. Just making my life a bit easier there. And again, decision fatigue was at its finest. At this point, we were also we didn't have any funding to continue our program. So I wasn't sure if I was going to have a job. So that was fun. So I was having trouble making decisions. So having these all put together with sketches was super helpful. Took those with me. Here I finished another pack of something. This is Cartabella Winter Market Enamel Shapes. We have this super cute layout where I just had different hearts. And the beauty of a retreat too is you get to use tools that don't belong to you. So this was the lady who was running the retreat, Sherry. She's lovely. She has this tiny little store in this tiny little town called Erskine, Alberta. Be lucky if you can find it on the map. And she hosts the most wonderful retreats. Very affordable, very friendly people. It's just a good time. So anyways, I got to use her Creative Memories heart cutter to make these ones. So I thought that was fun. There we go. And then another one of those. We have more for Emmy's first year album, and just super cute. So this one I liked because it was really good for using up scraps from this collection, which was, I think, like Little Princess or Once Upon a Time, or I don't know, something to that effect. It was an old Echo Park one. So fun. And it had one photo, 4x6, but I used 2 3x4 photos. I always try to take that from a sketch like it's a suggestion. Here's your space for photos. What do you want to put in there, right? Another one for Emmy's album, and it was this diagonal one, but I was on the struggle bus with the whole diagonal thing, so this was the diagonal paper I cut. It's not straight, although it kind of looks straight. And I was like, no, it's crooked enough. I'm good. So anyway, that's how crooked I got going on there. And I cut it the wrong way, but it doesn't matter, right? It's just an idea. It's a jumping off point. So I decided not to be frustrated with that and just roll with it. So I like the way it turned out anyways. I liked using up some stickers down here and cut aparts and such. So that was good. And here's another one from that same sketch group that I did at the retreat. The retreat was 3 days, so got lots done there. It was good. I think I did finish up all of the speedy scrapbooking, like packagey things that I had put together. This one I was trying to get the scraps used up from this collection, so I took the branding strips and some smaller scraps and did a little, that's how I made the circle in the background, and I really like how that turned out too. So fun. And I moved the title to go around here because I thought it was a little bit more playful, and this is a kind of play layout. Another one from Speedy Scrapbooking. Oops, this is 2. That's okay. So this one was a pretty basic sketch, which is awesome. And that was the thing. These were meant to be quick layouts, and so they kind of were. I got through a lot that weekend, and it was all good. And like I said, they were already kitted up with things that I wanted to use to, keep working on that 2021 goal. So this one was another one for Aiden's grad album, and I couldn't avoid scrapbooking about the COVID times because they attended their grade 12 year wearing masks. He wasn't a 2020 grad, thank goodness. He did actually get a graduation ceremony, but it was still a strange year to be in school for sure. There was a lot of breaks where they were like, oh, no, somebody has it, so we're going back online. And oh my gosh, what a way to finish your last grade of grade school. Anyway. This one I really enjoyed too. I had fun with these. I love these 49 and Market film strips. I'm sad that they discontinued those. And so these 2 big circle pieces. One of my friends had her Cricut with her, so she cut the circle for me, and I just sliced it in half and went with it, and it turned out so good. Yeah, so that went well. And this was again at the retreat, so I got to use these dies that were not mine. They were somebody else's, but to make the circles, because I didn't want to do hearts for grad. I wanted something different, but yeah, it turned out really good. And then the other thing that I had brought to the retreat with me was these pocket pages that are also for Emmy's first year album. So at the end of every month, I just throw in all the photos that we didn't put on a page, and they go into these little pocket pages. So this is one, and then it opens up, I believe. And so it's hard to get them both in there. Here, let's do it like this. So this is her 9-month pocket page. So at the end of 9 months, where whatever photos weren't used from that month go into these pocket pages. So it's really hard to see it all, isn't it? So I already had these also. There's a kit for this. So it was an old baby kit that I had from Bo Bunny way back in the day. And then I've just been throwing in embellishments that I think would be cute and match with those colors. And there's some scrap papers in there that match with the colors. And so I've just been making pocket cards. And then each month, so it had like a sheet that had all of the months on it, those simple stories kind of version. was it Simple Stories? Maybe it was Simple Stories. It wasn't Bo Bunny. It was Simple Stories. So that had all of the cards. And so each one already has the journaling printed on it, which is why I took this, because I was like, I do not have to think about any story or anything. It's all ready to go. I just have to make the little pocket cards. And a lot of them were photos. So that made it easy too. And the photos were already printed. So I just had to like embellish the little cards kind of. The writing in these ones is just whatever her mom wrote on her Facebook page for that month, to celebrate her. Like she did these little photo shoots, for each month. And then, whatever she had put on there, that's what I put in her journaling. So that made it easy, but it was already done for me also, cause I finished it, the journaling part, a long time ago, and I just have to get the things done. Working towards the end of that 2021, right? So that was the first 4 pocket pages that I did. And then the next 4 that I did at that same retreat are these ones. They're also very cute. So this would have been her 10-month, I believe. Yeah. So I'm almost there. A couple more and we should be good to go. This one, where are we here? Are we in the frame? Yes. Okay. So this one also very cute. Weirdly, I had the same month twice, so I had to go back and reprint photos for this one. So it took a minute to get back in the pile, because I was like, wait, those are the same photos I did last month. That's not right. So that's the beauty of doing them together. But also it's hard to remember which thing was which, 4 or 5 years down the line. She turned 5 this week. And then this is the last one of those pocket pages. So like I said, got lots done at that retreat. It was pretty awesome. The other things that I did manage to get done in August, September time was I did a swap for Ginger's Corner, and I really loved the things I made for this. I can't remember if it was just a yellow swap or if it was a partner swap. I actually don't remember at this point, but I really loved what I made. So I made a copy. I made the same little bundle. It must have been a partner swap because it had the title, journaling block, and 2 embellishments. So I made them for myself as well. And then I put together this layout, and I was just like, no, I have to do it because I'm inspired to actually do something. And I had been doing so little other than that retreat. I didn't do anything. So I was like, no, let's do this. Okay, we're going to do this. So I did. And it turned out really cute. So, this was also from August. So in August also, I did my scrapbook lives with the store. So those should be also posted on my Facebook page or my YouTube page. I used up the classic mouse chipboard pieces. So that was good. I think I almost used up this whole collection. Whatever's left of it will be in my Disney box now. But yeah, this one turned out really cute. This one was from another live stream. And so I think because Facebook took all of these, they take all the videos down. So we've been moving them onto my Facebook page or onto my YouTube channel so that the customers who want to go back and be like, oh, well, I bought that because Nadine made this. Well, it's not on Facebook anymore. So it's on my YouTube channel. I need to go back and do that with a lot of them. Maybe that's one of the things I can do. I'm trying to focus on things I can do, not things I can't do. So we're still in August, okay? But the wheels fell off the bus at the end of August. So just keep that in mind. And then this one was part of that too. Super cute. It was very like boat related, so that went really well. Okay, let's see. Is this a 2-page? Yes, I believe so. No, it's not. It's a 1. Okay, so I did the layouts for the cut and paste class right before the grandkids came. So this is still August. We're still talking about August, okay? The retreat was in September. I don't know how it got mixed up this way, but I'm trying to wrap my head around what I've done here. So this one was part of that cut and paste class. It technically was a 2-page layout, as they all are in Vicky's weekend workshop things. But because I didn't have the photos to fill both pages, I just did them separately. They'll go into totally different albums. This is from a trip we took in 2024. We had Margarita Flight at Margaritaville, very cool. And then this one was from a trip we took in 2022. So they won't even be in the same album. Nobody will know. It's fine. 2 more layouts. This was another one from Cut and Paste. Again, could have been a 2-pager. But I did not do it that way. I did this one. This one was cute. This is, my granddaughter made this cute little caterpillar thingy at a museum here nearby when they were visiting last summer. So I thought that was really cute. And then this one is also from 2025. And what were we doing? Oh yeah, we went to the dark thing, where the dark things dwell at Fort Edmonton Park, and it was like an escape room, but it was outdoors, so you had to solve the puzzles to escape the bad guys. This one, again, could have been a 2-page layout. You can see how they kind of go together like that, but I didn't have the photos I needed for that. So this one is from a trip we took in 2024. This was from Ireland. This is a chocolate place we went to. It was very cool. I spilled my tea all over their floor. It was really awesome. And then I think that story is actually on this page because I was like, I have to tell that story. There's no photo of it, but. And then this is my granddaughter's first year again. This is her other Nana, so my son's stepmom. She was visiting, and those are some pictures of them together. We have this one, again, for Emmy's first year, and these are super cute. I think this is I was going to say, I think it's a 2-pager, but it's not. So it, again, could have been a 2-pager, I think. That was the intention, but I didn't feel like it needed to be. Oh yeah, you can tell because it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I didn't do it that way. This one will go in the November part, and this goes in the October part, so they won't be close together, but that's okay. This one also could have been a 2-pager, but I made it a 1-pager. And this one is from me and the girls went to Mexico a year ago, because it was February last year, and now it's February 2026. We went to Mexico together. It was good fun. Just me and the girls. It was a girls' trip. And then this is me in Prince Edward Island. One of my very favorite novels as a young girl was Anne of Green Gables. I watched all the shows, and I love the story. I've read more of her books since this trip, and I'm even more in love with her writing. So Lucy Maud Montgomery is the author, and she was Canadian, and it was neat to go and explore in Prince Edward Island all of the places that had inspired her stories. So this is a 2-page layout. This is also from our 2021 trip that we took together as a family. This is the zoo we went to. It's zoo day on that trip. So that was, again, cut and paste from the cut and paste layouts. I think some of these were from the bonus class. Maybe that one and maybe this one. Again, this is a 2-pager. I did keep it as a 2-page. This is from that same weekend. This is when we had gotten back to the house. We were just coming back from Niagara, and so my son's house was across the street from this church, but this church has been turned into like apartment-style condos, which just fascinates me. We don't do that kind of stuff in Western Canada. Everything's made of wood out here, so as soon as it's 100 years old, they knock it down and put something else there. So yeah, it was very cool. But the kids were playing football in the yard and playing on the swings and doing the things, so they were so cute. She was just sitting on the deck watching, but just being together all as a family was a rare thing for us, and so very important that goes in there. Sorry. Okay, so this one is of that same trip in 2021. We were in Niagara Falls, Clifton Hill. We went to a wax museum while we were waiting for our table at the Rainforest Cafe. So this one was fun. And then I didn't do a lot of scrapbooking other than what we already talked about in September. You know, that retreat? That was all. That was it. So now you've seen what I did in August and September. We're going to move into October. In October, I took the, what's it called? Curiosities in Willow Grove Halloween layout class with Vicky. So this was October 25th. We just did some layouts together. And then I think I did a bonus layout with her on a Friday Night Live. But I was not able to even finish this class when it was live. I think I had to finish it later. And the bonus, the live stream, I also didn't do live. I saw that it was posted. I wanted to do it. I waited. I think I did it weeks later. So anyways, Curiosities in Willow Grove layout class. Again, these could be 2-page layouts, but they're different. This goes in my album. This is a little tribute to how weird Halloween was in 2020. And my husband wore a mask and handed out chocolate bars with tongs because God forbid you should put your hands on something that's going in a child's hands. So weird times. So that's where that's going. And this one is for my grandkids album. This was, I think, 2024. Yeah, they did a monster walk in their town, which I thought that was really cool. So you go downtown and the businesses hand out candy. And it's not actually on Halloween, I don't think. I think it was like a day before or something. What does it say here? October 26th. So yeah, a few days before Halloween. And yeah, the kids go to downtown businesses and they hand out Halloween candy, and it's super cute. All the kids that were down there and just dressed up and being so cute. This is also for the grandkids album. They were so excited. This was the first Halloween I was able to go out and spend it with them. And we knock on this door nearby their grandparents' house, and Blippy answers the door. Well, you should look at my grandson turns around. He's like, "Grandma, it's Blippy." He actually believed this man was Blippy. 110%. Yeah. So pretty exciting stuff. So that's going in their album. And then this one is going in my Disney album. It is from our 2025 trip. There's another thing. We can't stop traveling because, you know, life is changing. So my husband had a conference in Anaheim. And so I said, well, I'm coming because I want to see Mickey. And so at the end of his conference, I arrived on the last day and we spent the rest of the weekend exploring Disneyland. So this was the Haunted Mansion. It was really cool. Disneyland was all decked out for Christmas or for Halloween again. We had seen Halloween stuff last year, but we did it again because it was just the way that it worked out. This one is it was supposed to be date night, but my husband didn't make it. So just me and my friends. We went to a haunted house. He joined us later, but he couldn't make it for the haunted house part. So we all went to a local haunted house and did that before we went out for dinner. So that's fun. And then another Halloween from that same class. This one, I love these little circle-y bits. That's so cute. And her clustering, I'm not as good at it. I try. I do. But they never look as good. She does such a nice job. And I really enjoy repeating that process. And I know that it's just going to make me better at it. So this one, again, this one actually was from this time around too. So this was October 2025. We went to Halloween Horror Night at Universal Studios. I had mixed feelings about it, but anyways, this one, I'm not scared of scary things. That's not the issue. The issue was the lineups. It was ridiculous for how much we paid to get in there. We should have been able to see all the haunted houses, and we could not. The lineups were just absolutely, they were worse than Disneyland. I've never seen anything like it. But anyway, and I've been to Disneyland at Christmas, on Christmas Day, and this was worse. So who knows? Anyway, but yeah, this is one of the haunted house called Scarecrow. It's one of their exclusives. It's pretty cool, actually. But there you go. And then this one, I mean, the haunted houses were awesome, obviously, because it's like an actual, Hollywood movie park, but yeah, the lineups were ridiculous. This is also for my grandchildren's album. They went trick-or-treating with their little cousin last year. Isn't he adorable? He's so cute. I was looking at pictures and videos of him today at the birthday party of our little 5-year-old now. And her other grandparents were there, so I was looking at videos of little cousin. He's so cute. And then this is also for my grandkids' album. This is the same year that I was out there for Halloween, and he wore this costume to school, and then this one out for trick-or-treating, because this one was big enough. If you live in Canada, you know this. This one fitted over the snowsuit. This one did not, right? So you have to have 2 school or daycare and then an outdoor one. So you have to have 2 costumes. This one, I used up the glossy enamel dots from the Fabulous collection from Simple Stories. And this is also Curiosities in Willow Grove. And it was that same, this is the Halloween Horror Night too. This was the Chainsaw Clowns. They would chase it literally after it got dark. So this is the daytime part. But after it got dark, there were these people in clown costumes chasing you down the streets of Universal Studios with chainsaws. They're fake, but it's still spooky to have somebody It's still creepy. This is super cute. This is my youngest and his girlfriend went and picked out pumpkins last year to carve because they were renting a house with some friends, and so they actually had trick-or-treaters that year. So they went to a pumpkin farm and picked some pumpkins. They live in a good place for this kind of thing. Kelowna, if you've ever been in BC, Canada, is quite the beautiful place for farming and agriculture. So anyway, super cute pictures of them at the pumpkin farm. And then, okay, so I did that. Then I remember, and that kind of inspired me, okay, to get back to doing some scrapbooking. So remember, all of that was from August, except for the retreat that I went to where I just had decision fatigue and did things that I already had planned, and felt like I was a bit inspired, but got back to find out that yes, I did get funding, but not enough funding. And so they had to let go of my program assistant, and I'm going to run both programs by myself. Yeah. So I didn't keep scrapbooking. But after I did the curiosities, so that was the end, that was September after the retreat. I found that out. So they let go of my program assistant. She moved on to greener pastures. She actually got a really great job. So bittersweet. I was happy for her, but I'm sad that she's gone. And I remembered that I had this Flower Emporium workshop purchased and the box sitting in my closet. And I was like, I could just put this on and I have to rethink how I'm doing things. So this is where the brain power came back. And I was like, I don't have to quit scrapbooking. Okay. Because like I said, with that Curiosities in Willow Grove, I didn't finish it on that weekend. I had to finish it in little snippets. And that got me thinking, like, I can keep scrapbooking in little snippets. It'll be okay. I had this purchased. Flower Emporium was supposed to be, I believe, August 23rd, which is the same weekend that the grandkids came, right? So it did not happen. And just stayed in a box in my closet. And so I was like, I could pull that out and do it in little snippets like I just did that Halloween layout or workshop. And I could get some scrapbooking done. So I did. I did the Flower Emporium Vicky Bouton workshop in little snippets. And I did complete it. So, and then went on to do the bonus layouts. And she had some layouts on her her YouTube channel that were for everyone, for the public, not part of the class. And I did those ones too. But I had to do them in tiny snippets. So I've been scrapbooking in snippets, which is why there's no video content, because I'm like, who's going to watch me scrapbook for one of these? And that's it. That's all I did. And then I would move on and do something else. And so the way that I did it was I would follow the class and then leave the decision for photos and all of that kind of stuff to a day where I felt like I want to go look at my pictures and decide what's going to go in these beautiful layouts. So, like I said, had to take it in a different direction. I couldn't sit and scrapbook for a day. That just wasn't happening anymore. And so, yeah, so I did the Flower Emporium class. So this is from that workshop. It turned out so beautifully. This is from a trip we took in May of 2024. We went to Ireland. This is just the grounds of one of the hotels we stayed at. It was so beautiful there. The flowers were all in bloom. Just something else. We don't have lots blooming in May here in Canada. I'm going to give it another month. Everything's really brown here at that time, which is kind of sad. But again, this one could have been a 2-pager, but because I was working towards some certain things and I had these 2 super cute pictures that could totally go in her first year album, I decided to separate them. So this one is for her album, for that first year album. And then this one also goes in that 2024 trip album from Ireland. I just thought this was so cool that these calla lilies were just like growing on the grass. We were at the beehive huts where it doesn't look like anything is growing. It's just like rock and dirt. And then all of a sudden, calla lilies. I thought that was really cool. They were left over probably from somebody's garden, but. And then I used up during this Flower Emporium is the Emporium enamel dots. So this was from Craft Consortium, but they went so well with this collection. I used them all during this workshop. Is this one? This one is a double pager. So I kept this one as a double page. This, I can feel the difference in quality picking up these papers. So now Vicki Boutin has gone from cut and paste was American Crafts, Flower Emporium was 49 and Market, and I can feel the difference when I pick up the layout. The cardstock or paper, patterned paper is so much heavier, so much different quality. Even the embellishments, different quality. So this was Fort Charles, or Charles Fort, I guess. 17th century architecture. Like I said, we don't have anything like that in Canada. Like literally when something's, or in Western Canada, I shouldn't say. On the eastern side, they have like clay and things to make brick and stone and whatever. But here in the prairies, we don't have that. Everything's made of wood, and when it's 100 years old, it has to go. So we have nothing old here. The odd thing, but not much. And so seeing things from the 17th century to us was quite fascinating. And you have to remember that modernization out here was not that. Not in the 17th century, that's for certain. Oh, no, this goes like this. So this is another double pager, again from Flower Emporium. So pretty. I love the way that the things from 49 and Market layer. So like these flowers went into this little thing with this little bow on top. They're just so stinking cute. And like these little flowers slide into these galvanized pails. So cute. This awning is a acetate piece. You can hear it. Can't see the difference on camera, but you can see it in person. But yeah, it just adds so much visual interest to everything. Such a beautiful collection. And I'm not really a floral person, so I wasn't even going to buy this one. But I was like, well, first collection with 49 and Market. I want to see what she's doing because I wasn't sure I was going to like it. But I did. This is another one where were we? This is also Ireland, I believe. Yes, it has to be because of those doors and the ruins. Oh, this was the first hotel we stayed at. So it was Dunboyne Castle. And there's castle ruins, but this was just a manor house that like where the hotel actually is. But so pretty. It was so pretty there. Everything was so lush. I know people say that, but it's hard to imagine until you've actually seen it with your own eyes. It's like the blue water, in the Caribbean where you're like, it's so blue, but until you've seen it, you don't really know. Okay, 2018, this is when our friends and us, our kids all started growing up. So the oldest ones graduated in 2012. The younger ones graduated in 2016. We had a third kid. They didn't. But we were like trying to, you know, still get together even though the kids weren't part of that anymore. And so we started a thing called date night where we go, you saw us in the Halloween photos. The 4 of us will go out for date night. So this is just a tribute to how that all started and friendship and that sort of thing. So lifelong friends we made at play school when our oldest kids were 4. I think this one, no, I didn't do this one as a 2-pager. It could have been, but I did a 1. This one, or no, these ones I think are from the lives. Is this the lives? Probably. So I think these were the live streamed ones that we did. And so mine are probably a little bit different than hers because I only kept working with what I still had left from the collection. This is like when her mom first started doing her little hair. So stinking cute. Those little piggy tails and stuff. And then this is from our trip to PEI in 2022. We tried to take the Canadian citizenship test and we didn't do that great. I mean, I really didn't. He did okay. This is Mark's first time driving on the left side of the road in a vehicle that has a steering wheel on the right side. So in North America, it's the opposite of that. So this was new, but he did really well. So high five moment. So that's from our Ireland trip as well. This is from our PEI trip. And I think on this one, she did her own mixed media, but I just took a mixed media sheet from one of her former paper pads, like from another collection a long time ago when she did those ones with American Crafts that were like pre-made mixed media. And yeah, so this is Lover's Lane in Prince Edward Island, part of the story of Anne of Green Gables, if you're not familiar. So this was the forest that inspired that part of the story. And then this one was just kind of an idea that I watched on Vicky's channel with the branding strips and die cutting them into these circles. And so I did some of that after watching the live and ended up just, making a layout with them instead of just tossing them. And it turned out pretty cute. And this is going again in her baby album, her first year. And then I think this was the last one of her lives that I did from the Flower Emporium collection. And I'm not loving how this kind of covers his face so much, but I think I'm going to have to leave it because everything was glued down very well. And I tried to move it, but I couldn't. So it just is what it is. This is a trip we actually took to Montana in 2027. Montana's driving distance from where we live, so it was just kind of a road trip, but we have a little album for it, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I did the actual Mistletoe and Memories class live because I bought it and my mom got it too for her Christmas present. And so we did the class together. It was so fun to spend the weekend with her because we hadn't scrapbooked together since September, her and I. And so that weekend really meant a lot to both of us. So this was the November 22nd. So it had been 2 months since her and I did any of that kind of stuff together. Although this is a picture of us, not scrapbooking, but we made cards with my daughters-in-law. And so she came and joined us for that too. Miranda couldn't come. So I had an extra card kit and Mom came and joined us for that. But that was back in November too. So November we did a little bit of scrapbooking together. So this weekend was awesome. Her and I got together. We did the whole album and layout class together. So Mistletoe and Memories was her Christmas collection, Vicky Bouton's Christmas collection with 49 and Market. And so some cute layouts. I think this one was supposed to be a double pager, but again, I'm not even sure which way it goes, but I just made them into 2 one-page layouts. This one is of us, like I said, doing cards, hoping to start a new tradition. And then this one was, Christmas shopping in 2022. This one, I think I kept as a double page. Just like this. And or does it go like this? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. So this is all 2024 Christmas photos. So got those done. I love this cluster right here. How all the little things fit so delicately together. Those laser cuts. They sure add another layer of excitement to the scrapbooking pages. This one is so cute. The snow globe, everything fits in the snow globe. So this was Christmas 2023. My husband and I were out east with the grandkids that Christmas, but my brother and I pitched in and got my parents some things that they were really wanting for their hobbies. So they're both retired now, but being retired, they're living on a fixed income, so they don't spend a lot of money on their own hobbies. So we bought Mom an Epson Picture Mate 400 for her scrapbooking. And we got Dad a gift card to go, and he's a wood crafter, so to go and buy wood. We wanted him to be able to pick it because neither one of us really knew what he was looking for, whereas I kind of am more familiar with something that Mom would like. But yeah, they were pretty excited about that. So he sent me those pictures because I wasn't there. And then this one is from Christmas 2022. I brought these super cute cookies with me. So at that time I was still working at the school. One of the students' moms makes professional cookies, and so she gave some to me, and I brought them with me to their house when I went to visit. This would have been after Christmas. This would have been more like New Year's-ish, because I didn't go out for the actual Christmas day until 2023. Then this one is of us decorating for Christmas, I think this year actually. So we decorated this year while the kids were home for reading week, so it was early in November. Yeah, so kind of cute pictures. Her putting up the mistletoe, them trying to get the tree back into the corner. You know how after you decorate the back of it, you need to like scooch it back where you want it? Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So it was fun. It's a fun layout. This is also, I believe, a double page. This is when we were out east for Christmas with the grandkids again, and they took us to the Magic of Lights out in Barrie. And so fun. So there's that layout. Love the winter scene. Isn't it pretty? And I, again, with those laser cuts, just adding something special, hey, to the layouts. This one is, this is an old picture. What is this from? 2022, maybe? Yeah. So my husband and I both had at this time, he was still in school. We both had second jobs. And our second job this year ended up being the same second job. So we were working actually in the program that I'm now coordinating. He started there first. What am I trying to say? Words are hard. Supervising visitation and as a facilitator on weekends, and then I started there, and that's how I moved from the school division out back into the social work field. So yeah, so we got to go to a Christmas party together, even though spouses weren't really allowed because it's a nonprofit organization. They don't have money for Christmas parties, but because we worked for the program, we went together. This one is of my youngest and his girlfriend. They are just the cutest little couple, and so they're just dancing in front of the Christmas tree. I just love them. They bring so much joy to my life. And then this is this year too. We went, so our grandkids now live here, but they live in a small town outside of where I live, and they had the Christmas train come through their town, and so we went out to their town. And beforehand, we went through the park. That's where the train tracks go through, just by the city hall and our town hall, I guess, and took some pictures with their beautiful props that they had there. There was a lineup for the one the kids really wanted, so we never did go back and get it. But there's one that's like all lit up Santa's sleigh with all the reindeer, and you can sit in the sleigh, and so they really wanted to sit in there. But there was a huge lineup. We didn't have time before the train came. And I think this is the last one from Mistletoe Memories. And it is, this is last Christmas. Yes, Christmas dinner at our house. All the people that joined us. It's always just nice to have family around. No grandkids last year, so it was kind of quiet, but it was good. And that was it for Mistletoe and Memories layouts, so including the bonus layouts. So there was that. I just need to take a drink because I'm talking a lot. I knew it was going to be a long one, but an hour? Come on, guys. Okay, so then I did Curiosities in Willow Grove last weekend. And like I said, when I did the bonus layouts this weekend, I was like, where am I even going to put these? Because that stack of layouts is going to fall over. So I did this one live as well. So I'm starting to find that there is weekends that I can scrapbook in large quantities of time if I plan for it. Okay. So I've been learning some things about myself. I can scrapbook in small snippets, just like I did with Flower Emporium and cut and paste, or not cut and paste, the Halloween layouts. And if I really book the time, I can do large snippets of time like I did with Mistletoe and Memories. Then I was like, I can do it. I just have to plan for it to make sure somebody else is on call. I have to make sure, this is my time that I'm going to set it aside and I don't plan other things, right? Okay, so how stinking cute is this layout? So this, when we put this layout together, it was like, I am totally putting pictures of Avery on here because this is my daughter-in-law. She is currently studying, and I'm going to get it wrong, but it's evolution, environment, ecology. I don't know. It's like a really long, basically she's studying nature is what I know. But anyways, she had this great summer job this past year where she got to pin bugs. That was just a small part of the job, but she ended up starting a collection of her own of bugs that she found that were already deceased, and she took them home. So she had them in this cup. So for Christmas, she asked for this bug box to pin her collection, and we got her this bug box. We thought it was going to be too small because I was sure her collection was not going to fit in there. But look, they all fit, and there's still some space in there. So she was just so stinking happy. But like, ew, what? Anyway, everybody has, I guess I collect paper, pretty paper. So I don't know, everybody's different, but I thought that was really cute. So I thought that was the perfect paper for her. And then this one could have been the other half of that page, but I used them as single page layouts because I only had those, like that, basically one picture of Avery with her bug box that our son sent us. And he's like, she is so happy with this thing. She couldn't wait to pin them all when she got home, back to university. So there is this one. This one is from our Ireland trip. I was trying to capture how green it was there, but photos just don't do it justice, And again, so with Curiosities in Willow Grove, just like with the Flower Emporium, the clusters are just so pretty. So pretty. And everything fits together, which I just love. This is a double pager. This is the Trinity College Library, the Long Room, it's called. And the books are not real books on the shelves anymore because they are so old that they have stored them away in climate-controlled spaces, etc., etc. But there's still a lot to see and do and learn there. And we weren't even going to go there, but one of the tours we wanted to do was all sold out before we got around to purchasing. And so this was kind of our second choice, and it ended up being my favorite thing. So anyway, very cool place. This one is from our Prince Edward Island trip. This is the schoolhouse where the author taught back in the day. And this is of the place where she's buried. She picked the spot based on the view from it. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then they had this statue of her across the road from the grave site. And then this is also a 2-pager. I love this. This is like those, collection boxes or whatever. So cute. But anyway, this is the This was Prince Edward Island also, but they had this place called the Bottle Houses, which was why we went there. But in the yard of it, they had like the most interesting little collections of things. So this is a fairy garden, so all these little fairy houses and stuff, gnomes. These are teacups and saucers hanging from a tree. I don't know why, but it was fascinating to me that somebody would do that. I'm like, how can I display my collection of saucers? Let's hang them in a tree. I don't know. It was just like so interesting. And there was just little things like this all over the property. It was just very, everywhere you looked, there was something else. It was interesting. And last but not least, this one is also from Ireland, and it is Torque Falls. The waterfall was so tiny compared to what we're used to because we live by the Rockies, and so our waterfalls are pretty big and massive and strong. And then also when we go out to Ontario, like I said, we visit Niagara. So this was like a big thing for them to have this waterfall. And when we got there, we were like, oh, okay. It was pretty, but it was just so small compared to what we're used to. Like, I think there's something like this by where my parents used to live. It's like not very big. Anyway, the Rockies and Niagara Falls definitely gave it a run for its money, but we don't have the beautiful ocean. So there's that. So anyways, that's my 100th page for today. And then while I tell you about a little bit about how I'm hoping to move forward, I'm going to just flip through the 6x8s that I made. So Flower Emporium, we can start here. So where I'm hoping to go, I didn't put any photos in these, so I'm just flipping through. It's very beautiful, but I don't know what I'm putting in it yet. So like I said, part of my issue with scrapbooking right now is decision fatigue. I come home and I don't want to make another decision. I just don't want to. And even if it's just like what picture to print, I just don't want to. And so that's why I'm finding that doing things in little snippets is working for me. And then when I set aside those weekends and actually did, like a whole bunch of things all at once, I still, although I had the papers put together, I still hadn't decided what photos to put on. I hadn't embellished any of this. I did all the embellishing for these small albums and all of the photo printing for the layouts in small snippets. Okay, so I think that's just the way I'm going to have to wrap my head around this change in my life. I'm not going to be able to go to retreats because weekends I'm on call. And that's just the way it is for now. And I don't know how long I'll have this job for. Like I said, the funding keeps renewing, sort of. So we'll see. I don't know. We're taking it one day at a time. Isn't this cute? Look at the little kitty in the window. The window opens. Anyway, like I said, these little things are so interesting. So yeah, so one of the things that I've learned about myself in this situation is that even though all of those stressors, like the kids moving here, and it's just where I want to be. I would rather be with them than sitting at my scrapbook desk. That's just my stage of life. This is cute too. Look, these little doors open. That's just where I'm at. I'd rather be there. I'd rather be, tucking them into bed at night if that's where I'm needed. Or like today I was picking up balloons for a birthday party and picking up icing to write her name on a cake and just wanting to be part of everything. So that's just my stage of life and I have to just roll with it. And the job that I have right now is going to get me to a stage where I can actually retire at a reasonable amount of time and not when I'm 95. So that's just sometimes the way that life has to go, right? But so I think what I am hoping moving forward is that I can find time to share things with you guys. I don't know what that's going to look like exactly. Oh, this one. Hang on. I clipped this one because it wasn't holding closed. Like I said, I have to stick to what I can do. And that's kind of what I'm learning about this is what can I do? And as opposed to like, I don't want to do that. I can't do anything. Because that was my initial reaction was that I just couldn't scrapbook because I just couldn't. I just didn't have the energy, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the ambition. But learning just kind of different ways and feeling motivated by spending time with my mom and, those kinds of things have sort of taught me that, yeah, I can. I just have to do it differently. And so I think that some ways that I think I can incorporate that into my YouTube is that I would really like, I'm not teaching at the store anymore either. It's something I had to let go of. It was really hard to let go of. And I'm sorry to Joe, my friend Joe, who owns the store and who I kind of left hanging for a really long time because I just couldn't make up my mind because I loved it so much. But I don't have like the time to spend creating the sketches, creating the layouts, spending the day at the store. Like I said, everything has to be in really small snippets, and all that decision making feels very overwhelming for me. These are doable for me because it's a class. I'm going by what somebody else is telling me to do. So I can do it. I bring up the picture, I copy it, I'm good. I watch the live stream that she does on a Friday night and I have the supplies so I can copy it and I'm good. Making the decisions on creating a layout right from scratch, something I can teach to other people, that's just not working for me right now. So I am hoping to get back to doing the Tuesday night lives because I feel like that might be a really good small step to spend an hour at a time, sharing my ideas with other people. This is the Mistletoe Memories, and I have started this one, adding photos, but like I said, this is the one I'm working on. That's going to be in snippets. Now that I'm done Curiosities in Willow Grove class, I'm going to be continuing to do snippets of this until it's finished. Okay. So I am hoping moving forward that I can find snippets of time to share some of my ideas with you guys. So one of the ideas that I have is, this one has come open and I noticed it the other day and I still haven't fixed it yet, but it's supposed to be a pocket. But the adhesive didn't hold, probably because I didn't double adhere it. I have to use wet and dry on those pockets, or otherwise they don't stick with this heavier cardstock that they use, or paper that they use. This is so cute, hey? These little mini photos. I just love how that turned out. So then, this is cute too. Santa poking out the door. So then I am thinking that maybe instead of just like process videos, there's other things I can share with you too. I have some pretty neat ideas about like how to use up what's left over after a class, or how to use up what's left over in a collection, or how to use things like washi tape, things that we have like large bundles of, but we don't maybe know what to do with all of that, so I would like to do some of that on YouTube as well. And this is clearly where I stopped adding photos and journaling, but like I said, this is the kind of stuff that I can do in little snippets. I can pick a photo that's going to go in this album and just keep embellishing and doing the things, and I can do that in like a 20-minute snippet, or even less than that sometimes, if that's all I have. But yeah, if I'm going to have the energy to sit down and do things like this, it's going to have to be a little bit different. And maybe I can record some things like that. Maybe I have to find a new way of doing the recording that's not going to feel so incredibly overwhelming that I just don't have time for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So what would you guys like to see? If you have an idea of something that you think would be interesting, would you be interested in watching me put together a 6x8 layout? Because that's what I got time for right now. I pick the photos and I add the things. This is really cute too. And my grandkids really like these. They like the interactive albums better than the big 12x12 things. So it's not what I like making better, but they definitely enjoy it. This is cute. This is like a gift, and you pull the lid out and it's a pocket. So I need to slice this one a little bit smaller because it doesn't slide in very nice. And then I am thinking that I would like to do, so I did a while back, I did something called After the Workshop, where I finished like a weekend, what was it called? Crop and Create Delivered from SCT Magazine. And I took what was left after that class, after that workshop, and I made some things with it. And so I shared how I did that, how I broke everything down, and maybe I can do something like that, you know? After one of these workshops, I can show you how I break it down, and I don't want to put it in my scrapbook graveyard, so what am I going to do with it, right? So these ones are not as embellished because I like to know what photos I'm using before I add my embellishments, whereas the other ones I don't know what I'm putting in them. But this is just for my grandkids' Christmases. So I do theirs in this size. And like I said, I did 2 more of these Christmas ones. One that I had started last year and I didn't finish it. And then one that I hadn't started, but I thought I did. The 2023. So we went there for Christmas in 2023. When we came back, both of us had a flu that we had caught from our granddaughter. And it might have been the plague. I don't know. I had not been that sick, and even COVID didn't make me feel that bad. I was so ill and it wouldn't go away. I had it for like 6 weeks. It was gross and brutal. And then also we landed in Edmonton and had to go pick up our dog, and the dog needed to be put down like the next day. So I was not focused on finishing a scrapbook album at that time, and kind of forgot about it until I gave them 2024, and they're like, hey, wait, where's 2023? So I did 2023. And yeah, so now I'm working on 2025. So that's going to be this one. So there we go. That's the Mistletoe and Memories album. And last but not least is the this one is the Curiosities in Willow Grove, the one that we did last weekend. And I don't decorate the covers because the way that they put them on their shelves, that gets like knocked off. Everything gets crumpled and icky. But I do like putting the rub-ons on the inside. I love the rub-ons. They're great. And I'm seeing that this must have fell out somewhere, so maybe we can find where it goes. So this album is so stinking cute. And like I said, this collection speaks Avery to me, so my daughter-in-law, my youngest. And so I think I'm going to put their photos. They went to Iceland this past year and did like a week of like living in a camper van and exploring Iceland. And so I think I'm going to put those pictures into this album because I think they would appreciate that. And isn't that kind of cute? Like some of these are so cute. Like I don't know. Anyway, this is a rub-on. So pretty. And then, yeah, like I said, when I was thinking about like putting these away, I'm like, no, I'm going to share them with my friends. And I need to, just like I found a way to scrapbook, even though things are not as they used to be, I need to find a way to keep sharing with my friends, because honestly, coming on here brings me some structure, but it also brings me joy. So hopefully we can find a way to keep spending time together, even though things are a little bit different than they used to be. Hey, aren't those cute? Those little file folder. So sweet. And this one is a flip and a flip. I should go back and take some of my scraps and put photo mats in there. But like I said, it's hard sometimes when I don't know what photos I'm putting in. Right? So, and then these are pockets. You can pull the things out for journaling or photos or whatever the case may be. And here's another one of those waterfall pages that just can get so many photos in there, right? Think about that. That's kind of the beauty of these too, is that you can fit so many pictures into one of these tiny little albums. Like my daughter-in-law takes so many pictures at Christmas time, which I love, of course. She's a scrapbooker's dream, honestly, and shares them all with me. So to get them all into one of these like 6x8 albums is kind of joyful, because what would she do with 14 million giant 12 by 12 albums of just Christmas? So it's working out nicely. I think I'm going to make another one for them too. One of the things that I started but I haven't finished, so that can be one of my snippets of time too, is that I started a summer at grandma's from when they used to just come for a couple weeks in the summertime, right? So this one's cool. Watch this. Isn't that neat? And then it just slides back down. Again, so many pictures can fit in there. But like, see, the double adhering is so important with this weight of paper. This is pockets, so this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece, and this is a piece. So 4 little places to put photos in those pockets. This is cute too. This is like its own little mini page, but it frames those mushrooms from the next page. Cute. So, and this is a few flips. This one's just a page. This one's a flip again, and it's got these frames that look like those, what were those called? Slides from back in the day. Still don't know where this goes. I'll have to look. But yeah, super cute, hey? So yeah, I can't wait to put their Iceland pictures in this one. Oh, I think it goes right here, actually. Huh. Look at that. I'm so smart. I think I remember that too, that I was making this and I went to put this down and I was like, where did that go? It was on the floor. So here we go. So that is what I've been up to, where I've been, and where I feel like I'm going. So if you have any ideas for me, please put them down below. I'd love to hear from you. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to tie myself to things like hops and classes and things that I might not be able to make it to or to commit to, because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings if I join a hop and then I don't participate. I just really do want to keep sharing. So yeah, I hope you had a cup of something to last through all of that. And for those of you who stuck with me this long, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye for now.